Good morning. Today we will be learning about the parts of the brain, and I'm just going to give you a brief explanation of the different sections of our brain and the functions that they have. So I'm sharing this diagram with you, and I will talk about the frontal lobe first. So if you look at this red section of the brain, this is called your frontal lobe, and if you see where your forehead is, right behind it, that is your frontal lobe, and this is where your emotions and personality comes from. If we go a little bit further back, this is called the Mortar Cortex, and this is where movement is. So running, jumping, raising your hand. This tells your body to do those things. Now we're looking at the blue section. This is called the sensory cortex, and this is where touch happens. So think about sensory. Sensory is touching. So feeling different things, coarse, hard, squishy, textures. This is where your brain is telling you to do certain things. So pick up a book, put a pencil down, things like that. If you go a little bit further behind, we're still in the blue section. We're going to talk about the parental lobe, and this is where your language and reading happens. So this gives you the ability to speak and say certain things, as well as look at a book and read the words on the page. Behind that right here, it's called the occipital lobe, and this is where your vision is. So when your eyeballs see something such as a chair, this is a part of the brain that recognizes what that is. Oh, that's a chair. Or you see a dog. Oh, that's a dog. That is where your vision is. And then right below it, right where your head kind of comes, there's like a little bump, mine is anyway. This is your cerebellum. This is balance and coordination. So this gives you the ability to walk or run, as well as ride a bike and do certain things like that. Balance on a balance beam. Next we have a brain stem, which is down here. It's the tannish one, and it looks like a stem. And this connects to your spinal cord. This is your daily function. So think about it. Our body does things that are excuse me, I'm getting excited. Our body does things that we don't even think about. So your heart racing or your heart pumping, breathing, blood pressure. Those are all things that our body does without us telling it to do it. Next we have, and lastly, we have our yellow section, which is called the temporal lobe. And this is where our memories are stored. So a great vacation that you had with your family, you remember that. Or you see something like a Christmas tree and you're like, oh, remember 3 years ago when I got a bike for Christmas? Those are where all your memories are stored. So this was just a brief explanation of our brain and what our brain does and how it functions and the different parts of our brain. That's what we're learning about this week. And I am going to read a book to you in a short second called Your Fantastic Elastic Brain by Joanne Deek, illustrated by Sarah Akerley. What does your brain really do? Does it fill the space between your ears? Well, yes, but your brain can do so much more. Your brain helps you think and remember and name what you see and what you hear. It lets your body move and feel both touch and emotions. Your brain does all the things that make you, you. So, what's in your brain? Is it a muscle? No, the brain is an organ in your body. It's made up of cells and tissues. The brain controls everything you do, everything you think, everything you feel, and even everything you dream. The brain has many parts that do all the kinds of different things. The cerebellum is a small part of the back of your brain that helps your muscles to coordinate your movement and your balance so that you can walk, ride a bike, or play tag. The cerebrum is the largest part of your brain. It helps you think and speak. The prefrontal cortex is the part of your brain behind your forehead. It lets you make plans and decisions. The hippocampus is at the center of your brain. It works like a filing cabinet to help you store and find memories. The amygdala is a tightly packed group of cells deep within the center of the brain that controls your emotions. Excited, angry, embarrassed, frightened, sad, or happy. Neurons. Neurons are everywhere in your brain. They are tiny little brain cells that make electrical signals to send messages to other cells in your body telling you what to do. When you were born, you were very little. Your brain was small and not so strong. And as you get older, your body grows and gets bigger. As part of your body, your brain grows and learns to do new things. And you can make your brain do even more. Your brain grows very fast during the first 10 years of your life. This is the magical decade when you can help your brain grow faster and be more powerful, just like lifting weights. Helps you get muscles, get stronger. Learning new things strengthens your brain. You can give your brain a good workout by trying to learn many new things. Like elastic bands that stretch when you pull them. Even things that are hard at first or that you don't like to do can get easier, when you like to do, or that you don't like to do very well. Even when you make a mistake while you learn something new, you are still training your brain. You will remember that mistake and try something else until you get it right. Making mistakes is one of the best ways your brain learns and grows. If you aren't willing to risk being wrong, you won't make the chances that stretch your elastic brain. You can stretch the part of your brain that controls your feelings too. If you are frightened about taking a risk like learning to swim, finding the courage to put your face in the water stretches your amygdala. It will, remind you that you can overcome your fear. So you will be braver the next time something scares you, like diving into the water. Learning something new causes the brain to grow more connections among the neurons. With more connections, the neurons can send and receive more messages. These connections help to stretch a part of your brain and make it more elastic so that it can hold more information and ideas. How does the brain stretch and grow? Neuro means that the word, it is part of has something to do with the brain. The sculptor molds, shapes, or carves things out of clay or wood or stone. So you shape your brain when you make it bigger by adding new things you know and can do. You are a neurosculptor. When you learn something new, you're building on what you have already learned. In the same way that the muscle in your body works together when you want to lift a heavy object or kick a ball. The different parts of your brain work together when you're learning something new. The brain that makes you, really is an amazing organ. It controls what you think, do, feel, and remember. Your brain is growing very fast during your first 10 years of life. And now we know that you can help it grow. When you can try to learn something new, connections go from neurons and attach to other neurons. Then your brain can send messages faster, making parts of your brain bigger and stronger. Making mistakes really help you learn because your brain keeps trying new things and stretching until you figure out the answers to your problem. You are shaping a more elastic brain when you learn new things that build on what you already know. The more different kinds of things you learn and think about, the more you can learn, know, and enjoy. The harder you try without giving up, the more you will learn. You really can train your brain to be fit and stronger and keep stretching and growing throughout your life. The end. Okay, so I have a fun little activity for you to do today as a follow-up to this lesson and some links for you to watch to learn more about your brain. I hope you have a wonderful day and I hope to see you soon.